Hello, everyone. Thank you for stopping by my YouTube channel, Get Crafty with Sally. My name is Sally Poole. I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. And today we'll be making this pretty card using items from the Perennial Lavender Suite. So let's grab our mini catalog. The suite is on pages 22 and 23, and we'll be using the Perennial Lavender Designer Series paper, also the Purple Fine Shimmer Gems, and also we will be using a few dies from the painted lavender dies that are in the bundle, and also some of the dies from Perennial postage. So pretty much everything but the butterflies. And the entire card is pretty much die cuts. I really haven't done a lot of stamping except for this tiny little sentiment. And while we're cataloging, I will remind you that Celebration is still going on through the end of this month. So if you see Celebration products that you can't live without, you've got a few weeks to grab them. They did just add some new products. They're not really new. They are products that we already had, but they weren't Celebration. So check those out if you haven't seen them yet. Let me show you some of these items. This is the Perennial Lavender Designer Series paper. It's probably going to have a glare from my ring light. And these shimmer gems are gorgeous, and you can see they come in Berry Burst, Gorgeous Grape, and Highland Heather. And then here is the painted lavender bundle, and we will be using this die and this one. And then here is the Perennial postage bundle, and we'll be using this smaller die. It is the fourth from the largest. You can't really fit a whole lot of these on here, and I actually wanted to put another layer behind my rectangles, but they just don't fit. You could do two of them and they would fit, but these cute little ones only work with three. So I'm also using the exposed brick embossing folder in the background. I am also using Wonderful Thoughts just for this tiny little thanks. And I don't know if you know it or not, but there is also a tiny little die that goes with that stamp. And then I'm also using a few of the dies from Dainty Delight. I have used, let's see, this flower, this, I'm not even sure what it is, sprig thing, and this flower. I believe that's all. You could go through your dies from your floral sets and see what you have, and you might find things that you like better than what I've got here. So, and I've also used some of the linen thread and done a double bow. So let me show you what you're going to need to make this. You can take a screenshot of this, or as always, I will have a PDF down below the video in the description. There'll be a link to the PDF with all of the measurements and supplies that I've used. So this card base is 5.5 by 8.5, and I used crumb cake, and it is scored at 4.25. And then the next layer would be Gorgeous Grape, this bigger piece, and it is 4 1/16 by 5 5/16, which doesn't seem normal, but I actually wanted a little bit more of the crumb cake to show on this card. Bring out the crumb cake in these little pieces. You'll also need a piece of Highland Heather. That is 3 15/16 by 5 3/16. And then you'll need 3 pieces of the Designer Series paper, and that is what you're going to cut out with the little die from the Perennial postage die set. And then these, I've got all the colors that I used in order, and I will also have these die cuts and the dies in the PDF, so you can find what I used if you want to do it just like I did. Okay, so let's get started with this card. Let me scoot all of this off. Hopefully I won't lose that little sentiment. So our crumb cake is scored at 4.25. Let's take our bone folder, burnish that, and give it a good crease. So next, let's take our Highland Heather that's been embossed with the exposed brick folder. You could use whatever folder you want. And our Gorgeous Grape piece. I am going to use some tape. And I'll attach that to the Gorgeous Grape piece. And then we'll put some more tape on this. And attach it to our crumb cake base. We want to make sure that it opens at the bottom, and I've already added my 4" by 5 1/4 basic white insert. So let's center this on our crumb cake base. And next, you may have noticed that I've got these little pen marks on my grid paper. What I did was inked in an outline of this card base so I can try to get these little pieces straight. And I've already figured out where on the card I want them to sit, so that's what these little lines are. So I'm going to place these. I guess I should put my dimensionals on first. Got ahead of myself. And I cut a bunch of these dimensionals in half. You don't need to waste a whole dimensional for these little pieces. And I should have done at least a couple of them ahead of time. Sorry about that. This is really no fun to watch. unless you haven't done it before, I guess. You could also use your mini dimensionals if you want, and of course you can put these on as a whole dimensional without cutting them in half. That's up to you, but I think it's kind of a waste. Okay, so let's flip these back over. Get our card. Oh, one more thing. I'm going to add a little bit of removable adhesive to my little grid paper. And this one is Tombow Mono removable adhesive, and it really is not very sticky. But I'm going to tap my finger on that a couple times and it'll take some of the oil off my skin. So let's see if we can stick that down a little bit. And then line these up in the order that we want them. Something keeps sticking to my finger. Oh, I've got a little piece of a dimensional. And I think it's better if you do the outside first, then you can make the center one even. So let's take all of our covers off of our dimensionals. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this ruler and I'm going to lay it up on that line that I drew. I can't see it very well. I can't get my head over it because of the ring light, but hopefully it'll come out pretty good. And then you can just line this little die cut right up on that ruler. And I've probably got about maybe 3/16 of an inch of the margin there. So let's take our covers off of these. Make sure we're still lined up. And then place this one and try to get about the same margin on the right side of this one. And then we'll take our dimensionals off of this one. And then we can pretty much evenly center it. There, so see how that works? That comes out pretty good. I'm terrible at eyeing things and getting them straight. So now let's take our green glue, Tombow glue, and I am going to take this gorgeous grape sprig, and this is one of the die cuts out of the Painted Lavender bundle. And I'm just gonna put some glue, a few dots here and there. You don't want to go up too high and you don't want to go clear down to the bottom because this is going to hang off of these squares a little bit. So I'm just going to lay it right on across those two squares, rectangles. And next I'm going to place my white, whatever this is. This reminds me of those, I can't think of what they're called, some kind of a little weed, but they're pretty. So let's lay this one right about there. See if we can get him to stick down. That is not wanting to stick. Might need a few different spots. All right, let's hold that for a second or two. And then let's take our pretty peacock piece. And again, we don't want glue down at the bottom where it's going to hang off the edge. And it doesn't take a lot of glue to hold these on your project. So let's lay it a little bit to the left of the white floral piece. Hold it for a few seconds. And then let's take this fresh freesia flower, and I'm gonna kind of roll it up a little bit on the ends. Put a little dot of glue on the back of it. And place it about right there. Give it a little press for a second. And then I've got this teeny little Highland Heather flower. I guess I'm going to have to grab my little tweezers. If I can get a hold of the right side of it. And I'm going to try to tuck it right under that little pretty peacock piece. Oops. Give it a hold for a second. And then I am going to grab my Purple Fine Shimmer Gems. Get my other tweezers. And pull that up, and you can see that it's not got anything sticking to the back of it. And I am going to use, I think this is Gorgeous Grape. And I'm going to put a large one in the center of the flower. And then I need my little tiny sentiment. I'm just going to glue it down. You could pop it up on dimensionals if you want, or a dimensional strip. And I'm going to put it below these two rectangles. Kind of try to center it between them. And then I am going to take a smaller Highland Heather gem, and I'll put it next to the thanks. And I'll grab another one and put it up here. I'm going to put it in front of that butterfly. So the last thing that we've got to do is add our bow. And I've got 2 pieces of linen thread, and I've cut them at about 9 inches a piece. And I've got my little bow maker here. That does not want to go under there. So I always try to make sure that this piece is a little bit longer because it's got some extra traveling to do. So pull that tight, get your bow, and I'm gonna pull my little pieces apart a little bit here. And I'm actually going to glue this down. I don't know if you can hear the dog snoring. I'm going to glue it down because I forgot to bring my glue dots over here. So I will just glue it down here on the pretty peacock piece, kind of where it's wider at the bottom. And I'll probably set an acrylic block on it when I'm done and make sure that it gets good and dry. So when that is dry, you can cut the tails off, or if you used a glue dot, you would be able to cut the tails off. I don't want to do it right now because I'm sure it would move. So anyway, there is the card for today. It's pretty easy once you get all the pieces cut out. So let me know what you think about it. I will be giving this card away. So if you leave a comment down below the video, say whatever you want. Try not to hurt my feelings. I will draw a winner out of the people that have commented, and I will mail this card to you. So let me know what you think about it. And as always, I'd appreciate it if you give me the thumbs up, hit the like button, share my video with your friends and family, and it would be awesome if you would subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Make sure that you hit the notification bell so you will be notified anytime I upload a new video. And I really appreciate you spending some time with me, and I hope you have a wonderful day. See you next time.